Monkeypox. Virtually everyone is now aware of it, and the issue has been a main health care focus in recent weeks. Experts are concerned with how rapidly the virus is spreading and what that might look like as more people are infected across what is now more than 20 countries and growing. Today, we have industry experts gathered together to talk about this issue. We have Patty Olinger, Dr. Gavin Macgregor-Skinner, and Dr. Stefan Wagener with us. So let's just share our thoughts here. Patty, why don't you start us off?
Oh, thank you, Jeff. This is unprecedented, looking at the monkeypox outbreak that we're looking at right now. And, actually, I had talked to Stefan and Dr. John Lowe from University of Nebraska Medical Center earlier this week with regard to this issue. And both of them are like, Patty, you understand. And it's like, yes, I do. From a biosafety standpoint, which is what, my technical expertise are. If I was in a situation where it was like, Patty, we're going to get a patient with monkeypox, we're going to need to clean after monkeypox, what are the recommendations that you would be giving to people? And it's like, you're absolutely right. But what we have with us today is Dr. Stefan Wagener and Dr. Gavin Macgregor-Skinner, who in their, I'll say, previous lives, have actually really looked at these situations, both from a research standpoint, which is a good thing. With monkeypox, we have a lot of research that's already done as opposed to SARS-CoV-2. And then also from an investigation standpoint of outbreaks. And so this is a really special time that we have with these two individuals and looking at the programs that we need to be put in place. Our STAR facilities are better prepared today than they were 2.5 years ago. And I think that's one of the key messages that we need to make sure that we understand is we're better prepared today than we were 2.5 years ago. Stefan?
Thank you, Patty. Yeah, Stefan Wagener here. A little bit about my background. I'm the former scientific director of the Canadian Science Centre for Human and Animal Health in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, which is actually Canada's level 4 facility. And so I had the privilege to work with some excellent people in this facility, dealing with all kinds of emerging diseases, viruses, and as part of my job also was as an advisor to the World Health Organization on the smallpox labs and the stocks that are kept there. So have been around a little bit on the block, and thanks for having me today.
Mm-hmm. And Gavin?
Yeah, thanks, Patty. Thanks, Stefan. So I'm Dr. Gavin Macgregor-Skinner. I'm a senior director at the Global Biorisk Advisory Council, or GBAC, a division of ISSA. And again, this is an area that we are looking at right now as, again, we've been dealing with COVID-19 for the last 2 years, but more importantly, the fact that we need education and training so that we are able to respond and then recover from any infectious disease agent. So it's another opportunity for our industry, the cleaning industry, to really be all on the same page. Again, the geographic distribution of monkeypox is very, very unusual, but it's something that we can contribute to public health, to public safety, in ensuring that we can, through our risk assessments, decrease the chance or break the cycle of transmission. And that's something we really want to ensure that it's very doable.
Stefan, could you speak to how you feel about this when you heard this news? Like, how concerning is it to you?
It certainly, there's always a degree of concern, especially if something re-emerges that we have seen before. There is a positive side to it, which really is bringing people's awareness to the fact that it's not just COVID, okay? It's not just SARS. There are a significant number of diseases that come from animals. We call them zoonotic diseases, and they are among us, period. And so we will see this again as another example that being aware of diseases and concerns related to the disease, the illnesses, the mortality, the morbidity associated with it is really something that is within our society. And I mean, the good thing is like Patty and Gavin mentioned, that we really have some good tools in place right now to deal with that. I'm not too concerned that this will be a pandemic. I don't believe monkeypox as a virus has the potential to truly, spread as rapidly as COVID. Past experiences have shown that it does not, but it is a severe illness, and our officials, public health officials, are dealing with it, and that's the good thing about this one. So
I think that what Stefan, one of the things that Stefan is kind of referring to, that people are that what we've learned over the last couple of years is that not all viruses are created equal. Some of them are airborne as far as their primary route of infection, like COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2, but that there is also a component of surfaces and other types of transfer. So high touch points, droplets that settle on the surface. We touch our eyes, our nose, our mouth. These are all things that we've discussed. Flu, for example. Monkeypox is a little different. Monkeypox, the primary route of infection is going to be close contact with actual body fluids. So the little pustules that are on your skin that break open and then get on cloth or bedding, or you touch a high touch point surface, you cough, you kiss, and we've heard the sexual relations issues. Remember, that's close contact. And so these are things that we're all looking at, and that when we recognize these, we know how to, as Gavin indicated, break that chain of infection. And for the cleaning industry, this is really important because we know how to clean, we know how to sanitize and disinfect. And again, focusing on those high touch points, helps protect us. That's one of the things that, for me, from a passion of public health, I get frustrated sometimes when you hear public health preparedness and all we talk about is vaccine production, healthcare preparedness, which are extremely important. Don't get me wrong. I'm right there with everybody, but it's that frontline worker, the front desk at a lobby of a hotel, the housekeeping in a hotel or our convention centers, to be able to keep us together again. We need to be prepared to be able to clean, sanitize, deal with the air that we breathe, the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the surfaces we touch.
Yeah, I have to say that we know that our industry has embraced cleaning even more than in the past, disinfecting, but the confidence that those that we work for, those we serve, has to be high, because as they go into buildings and do the things you discussed, touch surfaces that have been touched before, that confidence needs to be high. How do we build that confidence?
Gavin?
It's really important that we, again, focus on education right now. And as we went through the pandemic with COVID-19, we know that it was caused by a virus, SARS-CoV-2, which is an envelope virus. Now, again, in the work that we do on infectious diseases, there's not often good news, but there is some good news. Monkeypox is an enveloped virus. And what we've seen move very quickly in the countries that have reported outbreaks this week is that they have now looked at their disinfectants from manufacturers and moved very quickly to make them ensure that they've come up with an approval process to ensure that they're effective against the monkeypox, which is also an envelope virus. So what we've seen from the Environmental Protection Agency.
We lost Gavin.
So what he was about ready to refer to was that what we've seen from the Environmental Protection Agency, which is very quick response compared to what we've seen in the past when we had the Ebola outbreak or even with SARS-CoV-2, is that they have just released here in the United States that the disinfection list, the emerging pathogens list, with dealing with monkeypox. One thing that our facilities should do, whether they're any facility, but what the recommendation that I would be giving to our STAR facilities is go back through that inventory list. Look at what you're using as a disinfectant see if it's on that list, because, what you're looking for is that, safe, effective, broad-based disinfectant for, emerging pathogens, as well as just day-to-day routine sanitization and disinfection.
So, Stefan, you talked about you don't think this will be a pandemic, or it doesn't concern you as much. What about an epidemic or other issues that we should be concerned with?
Well, I mean, independent of what we call it at the end, coming back to what Patty and Gavin said, our industry knows how to clean. Our industry knows how to sanitize and disinfect. They have practiced it now for several years. They have updated their procedures. Our facilities have the tools in place. And the really good news is whatever you did for COVID will work for monkeypox, period. That's a very clear message that will build confidence. That's a very clear message that will keep it, quote unquote, simple. And people know how to do good personal hand hygiene, know how to clean, know how to work the tools that they have, and especially now with the EPA Q list on products that are available to the industry, we basically have the knowledge, the experience, and the tools in place to successfully deal with it. And that is a huge advantage that we have right now that we did not necessarily have in the beginning of COVID-19. So.
And I have to go back to the confidence, because you're right. Our ISSA members, our GBAC professionals, the industry knows how to handle cleaning and disinfecting. They know. They've got the training, they've got the skill. It's making sure that those they serve know that. However we deliver that information to build that confidence. And Patty, I know you're proud, and Gavin as well, and Stefan, about GBAC, the accreditation and the training that GBAC provides, because that is a way to let people know, hey, we are doing for you what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jeff. We really are happy or proud of the facilities that have taken that jump to go through GBAC Star accreditation. They have a commitment to their people, their visitors, their clients, their communities, to say that, they really commit to putting in place the procedures to promote health, wellness, and resilience. And that resilience comes into what we're talking about today. It feeds into, the whole concept that we're hearing on a day-to-day basis from the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the ESG measures that they're putting in place. And we're actually, it's very humbling to have facilities, before we even, we're ready to talk to them about it, start putting on their websites their corporate social responsibilities and listing GBAC Star as how they are committing to their employees, their customers, and their communities. It shows that they are there. No one is going to be perfect. And when we're working with infectious diseases, we know that. But to be prepared, we need to be able to look at the holistic view. And cleaning and sanitization and disinfection, hygiene is one of those things that has really, over the last several hundred years, have promoted, longer lifespans, and we can see correlations of that through history.
Mm-hmm. And you've made a really good point, Jeff, that yes, the cleaning industry is getting a lot of good information from ISSA, from GBAC, but actually think about the patient journey with a really unusual disease like monkeypox. And I had a phone call yesterday from a fire department who said, we are standing in the apartment where one of the known cases in the US was living. What should we do? And I said, well, where's the patient now? They're in the hospital. How'd they get there? Oh, our EMS, one of our ambulances, took that patient to the hospital. What did you do in the back of the ambulance? Well, what do you mean? Did you clean and disinfect it? No, we have a UVC light, so we turned that on. But did you clean the surfaces first before you turn the light on? No. Then I get a call from the hospital. Hey, we've got a monkeypox patient in the hospital. what should we, and we know the risks are there. Bed linen, towels, surfaces all play a role, even in the transmission of this disease. So it's important that as a cleaning industry, we get that message out very broadly to everyone that's involved, from our hazard and risk assessment that's involved in maybe close intimate contact, not just with the monkeypox, but with any infectious disease. So it's, again, we've still got some work to do.
Mm-hmm. Good thoughts. Yeah, I know there's different perspectives. There's the cleaning industry, and we've heard the procedures and what to do. Then there's people that get it, and they see the sores or the symptoms, and they experience it, and they call for help. And so it's important that everyone works together to bring that confidence and help people as best we can. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up today?
I think from an ISSA perspective, and especially from GBAC, from Steph and Patty and I, we're really concerned that all employees, all workers are safe. And it's simple information that can be distributed widely across, many different ways of distributing this information on how to protect yourself from a virus like monkeypox, but also how to make those environments safe and healthy again. That's something we're a work in progress, but it has to get out there quickly. Again, as Stefan said, this is not a pandemic virus. This is a virus that's going to cause some alarm in local areas, but we need to ensure that the science, the evidence is out there to decrease or decrease the viral load to make it safe.
Yep. And as Stefan indicated, we've learned so much from the SARS-CoV-2 pandemic, the COVID-19. The lessons that we've learned there, are really applicable here. And as Gavin indicated, we need to keep educated. We need to make sure that our people are trained and understand. And if they don't, ask questions. And, that is really important.
Yeah, I mean, that's a final word here. My biggest concern is not the disease. My biggest concern is the misinformation that sooner or later will be associated with it. And so I really like to encourage our listeners and viewers to make sure that you go to reputable information sources. Keeping in mind, monkeypox is part of a family that has a very, very deadly cousin, and that's smallpox. And it's just a question of time when words will be mixed up and panic will be created because, oh yeah, now we have that. What people need to keep in mind is with monkeypox and with the pox virus that there's a huge variation. Actually, some of the pox viruses are being used as a vaccine strain. So keep that in mind, that there is some good in the pox viruses too, and listen to people that have the science right and the public health officials that will advise you what to do and not to do so.
Well, thank you all for helping with this edition of GBAC's BioTalk, and we'll just keep our eyes on things. And I know as experts, you're monitoring what's happening, and we'll be back with more information as needed.